High-value men often stand out in society because of how they behave and carry themselves. But then, while they're often easily identified by the things they do, the qualities that really make these men unique often include the things they do not do. Indeed, knowing these things and avoiding them is essential if you want to stand out as an alpha male in your circle, relationships, and other aspects of life. Luckily, I'll highlight some of them in this video, and you should watch till the end because number 1 will reveal the main secret that high-value men never do. Now let's get started. Number 12. Never assume they know it all. High-value men know that they do not have answers to everything since they're not all-knowing, so they never assume that they know it all. On the other hand, low-value men are always quick to show themselves and assume they know everything, even when it's evident that they don't, so they often end up making fools of themselves. However, considering that high-value men are not afraid to admit they don't know something, they often get the opportunity to learn and equip themselves with more knowledge. Ultimately, this will increase their value and make them even more distinguished. Number 11. They do not procrastinate. Putting off today's task to be done tomorrow is a bad idea, known as procrastination, and high-value men are always wary of this. Not only does procrastination limit your productivity, it also causes stress and messes with your mental health. This is why high-value men like to live in the moment, completing tasks as early as possible instead of putting them off for a later date. Indeed, this quality helps them achieve their goals promptly and also sets them up for success. Number 10. They do not speak without control. One of the best ways to measure a man's true value is by the way they speak. Sadly, low-value men will always try to make up for their shortcomings by always taking center stage and talking always. This is because they mistake being loud for being confident or cool when it just makes them less attractive in the real sense. High-value men are quite the opposite since they've learned to control the way they speak. In fact, high-value men will rather observe quietly from the background and only speak when necessary. This is because they understand that silence is gold, especially when you do not have to speak. Being able to control your speech makes you more respected, and people will often pay attention to you whenever you choose to speak. Subscribe to this channel now for more tips on how to control the way you speak. Number 9. They never compare themselves to others. Another standard that high-value men will never compromise on is to constantly compare themselves with others. Indeed, comparing yourself to others is one thing you must avoid because it steals your joy. It takes your attention away from your achievement and makes you focus more on the things you do not have. It also sets a platform for jealousy since you can start to see other people's success as a threat. Not only does this character affect your personality, it also disqualifies you from being recognized as a high-value man. So instead of comparing yourself with others, learn to be satisfied with your identity and avoid wasting your time on pointless comparisons. Number 8. They never allow others to take advantage of them. Don't get it twisted. High-value men are kind, generous, and always willing to help others. However, there's a limit to what they can tolerate, and they often stand by their boundaries. So while they're being nice, they will never stand by and watch others try to take advantage of them. This is because they know their worth and would not tolerate being treated less than they deserve. Since they're intelligent, they can promptly tell when someone is trying to play a fast one on them, and they will often stop it before it even begins. Number 7. They do not compromise their standards to gain other people's approval. Surely, high-value men are known by their standards and how they stick to them. This is why you'll never find them going against their code of conduct to please others or gain their approval. They know that life is not all about getting people to like you, so they would rather displease others than do something they know is wrong. Of course, they leave room for correction and growth and can often entertain other intelligent ideas and opinions. But they will never compromise their standards, especially on things that are deal breakers. Have you ever succumbed to pressure and compromised your standards to gain approval in the past? Or perhaps you've done something you're not proud of because you wanted to please someone. Well, please tell us about it and how it made you feel in the comments section below. We want to hear from you too. Number 6. They never try to shift blame. One of the first details to notice about high-value men is their ability to step up and take responsibility for their actions. While others might try to make someone else responsible for their own mistake, a high-value man never shifts blame. Instead, he accepts responsibility, learns from his mistakes, and ensures it's never repeated. Number 5. They never make excuses. You should know that excuses hinder growth, and the fact that it's addictive means it can easily become a habit. Making excuses means convincing yourself that you can't do better even if you can, and it often prevents you from putting in the necessary efforts to get things done. High-value men know that this character limits one's potential, so they never try to make excuses. Making excuses means accepting failure, and this is no way to become a man of value. Instead, try to always give your best, and make sure you never leave any room for excuses. Number 4. They are never affected by other people's opinions. High-value men beat to their own drums and never bother themselves with the chattering in the background. They know that everybody will always have an opinion about you regardless of what you do or don't do. So once they set out to achieve a goal, they never allow other people's opinions to affect their focus or determination. Indeed, one of the first things to note in your quest to become a high-value man is that what others think of you does not matter. As long as you're convinced you're doing the right thing, then you should never be affected by their criticisms. However, this doesn't mean you shouldn't take good advice. It only means shutting out critics and not letting what they say get to you. Do you often struggle to deal with criticisms? Well, you can get help from many places, but I recommend onlinetherapy.com. Thankfully, the experts here are well trained to help you better handle other people's opinions of you. Number 3. They're not arrogant or condescending. Being intentionally condescending to others or talking down to them does not make you look cool. Instead, it only hurts their feelings and makes you look bad. Plus, arrogance is nothing similar to self-confidence. In fact, arrogance is most often a smokescreen used to disguise a low self-esteem. Luckily, high-value men know this, and it's why they don't belittle others to make themselves feel good. They're confident in their abilities and achievements, but they still treat other people with respect, regardless of their position or status. If you want to be considered a high-value man, you must always be cautious of your tone, word choice, and body language so you don't come off as arrogant or condescending to others. Number 2. They never try to please everyone. Trying to please everyone will only make you sad and disappointed in yourself. High-value men know that it's impossible to please everyone, so they never go out of their way to impress others. Instead, they embrace their authenticity and say what they feel without fear or favor. Of course, this is not an excuse to be rude or inconsiderate. It only means that men of quality value their time and won't waste it in a fruitless effort of trying to please everyone. Number 1. They never beg for attention. One very noticeable difference between high-value men and regular people is that high-value men never beg for attention. Whether it's in their relationship or social interaction with others, they will never stoop so low to beg for attention. While others can go out of their way to seek validation and become the center of attraction, high-value men are more reserved because they know their worth. Funnily, the attention and respect comes to them naturally because they've worked on themselves and built their worth. So if you want to be recognized as a high-value man, begging for attention is one thing you must never do. Surely, you want to click on this next video now to learn more exciting things about being a high-value man.